Beneath a shimmering morning sun, my boat, River Legacy, swayed gently at its private dock on a serene lake. This wasn't just any boat, it was a sturdy cabin cruiser, handcrafted by my father decades ago, moored on land I owned long before most of the HOA board even knew this place existed. So, when a laminated note, dripping with passive-aggressive venom, appeared zip-tied to my dock post, I felt a storm brewing. Per HOA regulations, vessels over 20 feet must be removed from shared access points by April 1st. It read, signed by Susan Whitaker, the newly minted HOA president and self-appointed guardian of lakefront elegance. Susan's note screamed trouble. My dock was on my property, and River Legacy wasn't just a hobby, it was my Airbnb side hustle, covering the mortgage on my lakefront home. I hadn't attended recent HOA meetings, enduring Susan's clipboard reign required a tolerance I didn't have. She'd already banned tacky-yard flamingos, fined a neighbor for overly vibrant curtains, and waged war on a retiree's wind chimes. But targeting my boat? That was personal. When Susan summoned me to an HOA meeting to address my non-compliance, I arrived armed with a folder of deeds, titles, and a notarized lake map. Susan, however, wasn't interested in facts. This community thrives on shared harmony, she declared, her voice honeyed but sharp. Your boat disrupts our aesthetic and fosters a rowdy culture. Rowdy? River Legacy hosted more fishing buddies than frat parties. Undeterred, she unveiled Resolution 47A, banning unauthorized vessels on community waters. The board nodded. I blinked, stunned by the audacity. Then it hit me. Community waters? I flipped open my folder. This lake section is private. I own it. The room froze. Susan's smile cracked. The HOA controls the lake, she insisted. I slid copies of my deed and water rights charter across the table. The county says otherwise. Jaws dropped. One board member muttered. Well, hell. Susan, unfazed, pivoted. Then we'll enforce Resolution 19B, no commercial ventures without HOA approval. I laughed. You can't regulate what you don't own, including the fish. That night, an email from Susan's personal Gmail, styled in Comic Sans, hit the HOA listserv, a cease and desist for my disruptive boating, and a threat to revoke my membership. I replied all, attaching my lake lease with the HOA's fishing club, the Pine Haven Anglers. Plot twist, their beloved Sunday fishing spot was my water, revocable at my whim. The neighborhood app lit up. Wait, he owns the lake? Susan's unhinged. 3 days later, the lake was eerily silent, no anglers, no gossiping retirees. A knock came. Tom Grayson, HOA treasurer and fishing club head, stood on my porch. Susan says we're banned from the dock, he mumbled. Non-compliant permits or something. I poured coffee and showed him the lease. Break it, and your fishing's done. Tom's face fell. I'll raise it at the meeting. Susan escalated. Her HOA newsletter ran a hit piece. Safeguarding our shores, slamming oversized watercraft, and rental culture. A cartoon of a shady boat captain labeled SS Freeloader screamed libel. Neighbors whispered. One asked if I was building a tech bro marina. Susan even sicked the Department of Environmental Resources on me, alleging illegal dock expansion. Too bad my permits were airtight. The inspector, amused, said, Tell Susan to find a hobby that isn't stalking county records. But Susan went rogue. I spotted a wildlife camera at my dock labeled HOA security asset. I dropped it on her porch with a note. Nice try. Then, a drone buzzed River Legacy, darting back to Susan's yard. I reported it to the FAA and posted the footage online. Susan's spy thriller era begins. The neighborhood app erupted. Someone photoshopped the drone with Susan's face. Then came a fake wildlife report claiming endangered egrets near my dock. I called the state. They laughed. Fake egrets? That's new. The report, signed by a non-existent Dr. Lila Monroe, was traced to Susan's email. I sent the evidence, drone clips, fake report, and Susan's permit requests, to the HOA board. At the emergency meeting, Susan claimed she was protecting fauna. Vice President Rachel snapped. You invented a bird and spied on private property. That's not leadership, it's creepy. Susan's support crumbled. The board banned drone surveillance and issued an apology, which I framed on River Legacy's cabin wall. Susan's next move, a proposal to strip my HOA voting rights, labeling me a commercial operator. At the meeting, she handed out secret ballots, claiming confidentiality. I called her bluff. How many votes were cast before we got here? Rachel cited the bylaws. Votes must be public. Susan stammered about flexible rules. The room turned. Neighbor Mike yelled. Since when does community mean silencing people? Rachel killed the proposal, citing illegal procedure. Someone slid Susan a copy of Robert's rules with a snarky note. She stormed out, her heels echoing defeat. Then the break-in. Security footage caught Susan and her ally, Linda, clipboard, Hayes, prying open my dock gate. Susan waved at the camera, oblivious. Channel 5 News, already covering the saga, filmed it live. The broadcast, HOA tyrant caught trespassing, went viral. Susan's email defense, I was misunderstood, flopped. The board suspended her from inspections. The sheriff issued a trespassing warning. I laminated it for the dock. Susan's final gambit, a referendum to ban boats over 12 feet, including River Legacy. At a packed meeting, she preached serenity over noise. Rachel pointed out that Susan's paddleboat was 13 feet, banned by her own rule. Then, attorney Emma Torres dropped the bomb. Susan's cited plat map was outdated, classifying her lot as non-residential. If passed, Susan's home would lose its permit. The crowd roared, the proposal died. Worse, Susan's zoning error triggered a tax audit. Her unpaid property taxes led to her house being auctioned to Javier Morales, who turned it into a jet ski hub. Susan, defeated, moved to her cousins in Nevada. The lake is calm now. River Legacy floats proudly, flagged. Lake Boss, EST 2023. The HOA newsletter is back to chili cook-offs. Susan's legacy? A cautionary tale of ego sinking a tyrant. What do you think? Did I push too hard, or was Susan's downfall inevitable? Share your thoughts below, and let's debate. When does neighborly teasing cross the line?